Welcome to the presentation video of Textury's capabilities. If you didn't read this article before, I highly recommend you to do this, as it describes the idea behind this tool and why it was built. You can reach it using this link or by using the About link over here. In order to use this tool, you can select your own TXT file. Currently, Textury supports only this format, but probably in the future it will support more. Or you can use some of the presets that are available over here. So we have two famous speeches here. We have two commencement speeches. We have a story, 3 presidential debates, the iPhone launch keynote, and a news article. Today we are gonna analyze only 2 of them, and you can analyze them by yourself later. We'll start with the commencement speech of Arnold Schwarzenegger. If you didn't hear it or didn't see it, I kind of suggest you to do that so that you can understand what happens here better. At the top we have the emotional landscape of the entire text. The green and red colors are represented over here in the legend. So the green is the positive sentiment, the red is the negative sentiment. And the color, the colors represent the intensity also of the words. So +1 is a light green, all up to the +5, which is the dark green. So the highly intensive words are represented with darker colors. By the way, for those of you that you don't like this color scheme, you can switch over here to a more friendly to some people color mode, or you can switch back. So what do we have here? The red and green triangles mark the highest negative moment of the text and highest positive moment of the text. We have several charts here which represent the words by type of intensity. So we have here +5, +4, and -5, -4, and so on. How many words are used in the entire text? Positive words are used 184 times, and we have +1, 56, and so on. And we have negative words 23, 38, 2, and 2. This chart represents the relative intensity by sentiment. So all these words, with all their intensities, make up 78% positive and 22% negative intensity in the entire text. This chart is a combination of 2. Here we have this chart, but in absolute values, so -113 and +394. This is the positive and negative total intensity. And these are these words here. Also, we have the negative and positive words frequency charts, which are histograms that describe and show you how many words and how many times they are used. So among the most used negative emotional word is hard, used 7 times, wrong 5 times, among the and their intensities. So Arnold uses hell 2 times, which is a pretty strong negative emotional word. On the other hand, we have 22 times the word great is used, which is a +3 word, which means it's kind of a strong positive word. Want 18 times, and among the stronger words are wonderful and win. And here we have the emotions canvas, which represents all the words that are used, the emotional words, with their corresponding colors. So we have this first line, and as a continuation goes the second line, and you can see that on mouse over you can see what that word is. So out of it we can infer some probably conclusions that here in this part, like the third quarter of the text, it's more negative, and we have here the most negative words, which are hell and bad and killed, which happens at the beginning. But besides that, one of the interesting things is that you can select the text and see that the charts adjust, and you can see what are the negative, positive words that are used more frequent, what is the intensity of this specific selected part of text. So we have here 20 words selected from 46% until 53% of the text. And by clicking on this symbol, you can see where the actual positive and negative words happen in the text, and they are labeled accordingly. So this is pretty much it. You can see that there are, I don't know whether you've seen the commencement speech, but Arnold talks about 6 rules, and in the beginning he mostly sets up the stage. So it's kind of positive, everybody applauds, everybody's laughing, he makes some jokes, then he speaks something about his recent story, and actually no, it's not about the story, but about the opportunities in the country, the United States. And over here he only starts something around here, 46%. He starts the actual speech, or not the speech, but talking about the lessons. So this is pretty much it. Probably you know, or if you're interested in public speaking, you know that a good speech should make you feel good as well as bad, or should approach both sides of the emotional spectrum. So we have positive, a little bit negative, positive, negative, and Arnold does this pretty good. And the second text I would like to show you and to analyze together with you is the Donald Trump versus Hillary Clinton presidential debate, the third one. But before doing that, I would like to mention that I'm not taking the side of anybody, so I'm apolitical, and what I will going to do now is just analyze plain data, and that's it. So I'm not making any conclusions that are myself. I will be just speaking about data. So the third presidential debate shows us something pretty interesting. And this debate is a lot like a roller coaster. So we start positive, then we have a huge negative peak, then positive, negative, and so on. And closer to the middle of the debate, we have here these crazy peaks, ups and downs that are spoken by the candidates. And closer to the end, we have the highest positive mark of the text. Overall, if to analyze the whole debate, we can see that the words that are used most frequently, the negative words, are bad, debt, pay, disaster, violence, worse, and terrible. On the other hand, the positive words, a lot of wants there are in the debate, in the discussion. So both of those candidates want to do something, and we can see that actually there are 72 words wants in the text. Also, great is used a lot. Good, which is also +3 word. Help, kind, and so on. The emotional canvas shows us that one of the most positive, the strongest positive word is thrilled. And we can see that there are dark red squares, which is fraud, catastrophic, hell, and so on. And the emotions are spread, like the positive and negative are spread throughout the whole text, the whole debate. And we can see it actually here as well. So I would like to take a look closer at this this part of the text, and take note that we have the total intensity by sentiment is -30 and 8. However, the words are so these are not close to each other, and this means that there are relatively less negative words, but they represent a higher negative intensity. So there are 7 words, and there are 8. The total intensity is only 8. However, if we take a look at maybe the whole text, they are pretty close to each other. However, this specific chart shows us that sometimes less words but more stronger words are used in order to make their point. And we can see here that actually in this segment, violence is used 3 times, which is a strong word. Criminal, disgusting, killed, worse, bad, and so on. And if we will take a look at this side part of the text, so let's analyze it. We have here Clinton, yeah, and she speaks more positive words, or tries to pass a positive emotion. Trump, on the other hand, speaks a lot about violence, bad things, criminal act, violence, and so on. And then the second positive peak goes to Clinton. She tries to speak more positively. But this is only about this part of text. If you will analyze the whole debate, you will see that they switch roles. So sometimes Clinton is negative, Trump is positive, and so on. So we have here also, we can see a lot of the emotions are mixed up here. So positive and negative and so on. And here is mostly nothing, and so on. And the positive peak goes to Trump. Yeah, so you see Trump has the positive peak here. Also, as a you see here this, for instance, red triangle, and you can see it here as well, which means that this specific part, yeah, this text represents the lowest or the highest negative intensity of the text, the highest negative part of the text. And by this I mean that the concentration of strong negative words per a specific volume of text is the highest over here. So you can see that this chunk of text marks the highest negative intensity of the text. So this is it actually. Just an overview of the iPhone launch keynote that I would like to show you is that it's pretty much positive. So you can see here that it's mostly green, only 9% of the words, the emotional words used are negative, and there are a lot of great ones, awesome, amazing words used throughout that presentation. And you actually know it. Probably every person watched at least one Steve Jobs presentation, and you feel that it's very positive. Yeah, his speeches are very positive. So this was it, a short presentation. In case you want to find out about the updates to this tool, you can subscribe to updates, you can share it on the social networks, and yeah, you can analyze your favorite texts, books. Actually, by analyzing books, you also can see some pretty interesting patterns, and you can analyze the presets that I've put here as well. So yeah, make your own discoveries. Thank you. And if you have any ideas, feel free to contact me, and yeah, we can have some interesting discussions. That's it. Bye.